Hello, trading is closed on the 1st of July, 2020. We'll go over our calls. Look for the pattern with the early low. This is it. Tomorrow has the early high. We had some price targets. We said unless we kept up, these were favored to print, but the most common thing because of mixed signals was to gap and promptly trade outside the range. Well, here was the close. Here was the close from yesterday. We gapped up, promptly traded outside the range. So the time for these calls was killed before the open. Now, the fact that the prices were seen in futures is kind of interesting, and it's relevant, but it doesn't suffice to satisfy the targets because the system is based on regular trading hours. So this higher target will add to the list of targets which didn't print in their preferred time frame. We have until early tomorrow to print 30.65.48. I know it's 50 points away, as we'll see. It isn't impossible. If it doesn't print early tomorrow, that gets added also. And there's a new target we have for tomorrow, 31.12.97. Unless we gap up smartly, that should print. We had an ultimate sell signal early on. We got the minimum. Normally we get more. Later on we had an ultimate signal to buy, but the move was called false. It's called to retrace under this line, 31.12.97. That's the call for tomorrow. Note this big wall into the close. A lot of times walls aren't going to be believed, but this one could be, because we looked like we had an all-day rally, but when push came to shove, we couldn't close over any of these highs. Unless we gap over this high tomorrow, we should see lower prices. This is just a reminder of what we said. We gapped, moved outside the range. Tomorrow has the early high. Here's my calls for next week on the patterns. Still viewing this as a negative break. I think it's a matter of time till the big down move starts. If we were to clear these highs, I might have to eat some crow, but not yet. Here's the count I'm using. I freely admit it's not the only one. If this is an impulse and this is a consolidation, let's see how close we are to ending it. Well, right now, if that's 1 and that's 2, or else A of 2, we had a rally up to fill the gap and then reverse promptly. We also have some good trend line hits right at today's high that you can see. And if this is A and that's B and that's C, it doesn't break any rules if you count C as 5 waves up with a triangle right here at the end. And if that's so, the target is to go down to the base of the triangle, which is here. But if that's the end of the whole consolidation, it isn't implausible that you go a lot lower than that. Now, again, this isn't the only way to count it, but I'm a little bit suspicious when I see this drop right at the close, right at the critical area. Friday has the early high. You could gap down first. Typically, it's a rally day with a final hour high. Failure is a straight line drop. We're going to have to watch the open to see if that's what we get. The employment reports tomorrow. I can't predict what happens when those things come out. Reaction's often a big reaction, hard to predict. If it's down, we can explain it. If it's up, there's some other explanation. There's a lower target. Unless we gap up smartly, it should print. The week is typically positive, so such a gap can't be ruled out despite the lower targets from this week. but I still think we're getting close to the time when the big drop will start. It doesn't help the case for tomorrow that a day-long rally couldn't manage a close over any of the intraday highs. We need to gap up tomorrow or lower prices, not necessarily limited to the target, should be seen. So tomorrow has the early high. Typically it's an all-day rally, but if you start dropping like a stone, if that happens, I would believe it, and I would tend to believe this consolidation wouldn't take a lot more to convince me that it was over and the big drop was starting. Let's just remember that that's not the one I want. Regardless of whether you like my count or not, I don't think there's a valid count that says this corrective wave is over. You need 3 waves down. I can't count 3 waves, so at some point there should be another wave like this one, and if we start dropping here, you can certainly explain it. Doesn't mean other numbers don't work. So early high tomorrow, be careful if we start dropping like a stone. If that happens, it's trouble. If we gap up, some other number works too, and that's today's call.